What if I told you that the moment you stop chasing her, everything changes? That the instant you redirect your energy from seeking her approval to valuing yourself, her entire perception of you shifts? This isn't about playing mind games or using manipulative tactics. It's about understanding human nature and the psychology of attraction. When you chase someone relentlessly, you signal a lack of self-sufficiency, making yourself appear less valuable. But when you step back and focus on your own growth, your purpose, and your self-worth, you naturally become more attractive. People are drawn to confidence, to those who don't need external validation to feel whole. In modern relationships, the one who values themselves the most holds the power, not by force, but by the unshakable presence they exude. When you stop proving your worth to others and instead embody it, the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, the one you were chasing starts noticing you in a different light. The paradox of attraction is that distance often creates desire, and self-respect commands admiration. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, her reaction can reveal deep insights into her personality, attachment style, and true feelings toward you. Some may become distant and detached, mirroring your energy, which often indicates emotional maturity and self-respect. Others may suddenly seek validation, trying to reignite your interest through increased attention, compliments, or even subtle manipulations. This reaction could stem from insecurity or a fear of losing control over the dynamic. Some may react with anger or resentment, exposing an ego-driven attachment rather than genuine affection. Understanding these responses can be life-changing, helping you differentiate between those who value you for who you are and those who simply crave attention or validation. This knowledge empowers you to navigate relationships with greater awareness, avoiding emotional traps and ensuring that your time and energy are invested in people who truly respect and appreciate you. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of these psychological dynamics and how they shape your interactions. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Stoic 24 and hit the bell icon for updates on our latest Stoic insights. Let's begin. Modern dating is a battlefield, but not in the way you think. It's not about manipulation or who texts first. It's about control, self-respect, and understanding human nature. Women are highly intuitive. They can sense when your energy shifts, when you're no longer eager to impress, when you're no longer chasing. And that moment, that's when everything changes. Some will try to reel you back in, others will pull away completely, and a select few will realize they may have lost something valuable. But no matter the reaction, one thing remains the same. The power dynamic shifts in your favor. So, how does she react when she realizes you've lost interest? Let's break it down step by step. Number 1. She becomes curious. The first thing she will do is notice the shift. If she was accustomed to waking up to a good morning text from you, the silence in its place will feel loud. If you were always available, ready to respond at a moment's notice, but now you take your time or seem preoccupied, she will feel that absence deeply. Human nature has a way of highlighting what is no longer there. What was once taken for granted suddenly becomes significant when it disappears. This is where curiosity begins to grow. She might find herself scrolling through your social media, looking for signs of change, or reacting faster to your messages, hoping to reclaim the attention that once belonged to her effortlessly. A subtle sense of unease sets in, an internal tug that whispers, "Why is he pulling away?" More importantly, a deeper, more unsettling thought arises, one that she cannot ignore. Is she losing control over your emotions? The same emotions she once assumed were hers to influence at will? This uncertainty creates a psychological shift, one where the balance of power begins to tip, and suddenly, she is the one seeking validation. As this uncertainty grows, so does her need for reassurance. She may start initiating conversations more frequently, subtly testing the waters to see if she still holds the same place in your life. The more unavailable you seem, the more her mind fixates on you. She replays past interactions, searching for clues. Was there a specific moment when things changed? Did she do something wrong? The lack of certainty fuels her need to regain control, and that's when her behavior shifts from passive interest to active pursuit. She might start liking old photos, commenting on your posts, or even bringing up inside jokes to reignite the familiarity that now feels distant. This shift is not accidental. It is deeply rooted in human psychology. When something once secure becomes uncertain, the natural response is to seek stability. If she once believed she had a firm grasp on your emotions and suddenly feels them slipping away, it creates a sense of loss. And loss, even of perceived control, is uncomfortable. She may not consciously realize it, but the absence you created has given you back the power she once held. The dynamic is no longer the same. She is now the one who feels the need to chase, to seek validation, to reestablish what was once effortless. In doing so, she experiences a taste of what it's like to be on the receiving end of emotional uncertainty, the very thing she may have unknowingly subjected you to before. Number 2. She tests you. Once curiosity takes hold, the next phase is all about testing. She won't directly ask if you've moved on or still care. Instead, she'll subtly probe to gauge your emotional state. She might resurrect an old inside joke, hoping to spark nostalgia and rekindle past emotions. A flirty text might suddenly appear, designed to measure your level of engagement and see if you'll respond as you once did. In some cases, she may even mention another guy, not necessarily because she's interested in him, but to see if you react with jealousy or indifference. This is a pivotal moment, one that determines whether she retains the upper hand. If you respond emotionally, displaying frustration, longing, or possessiveness, she confirms her influence over you. However, if you remain unfazed, responding with composure or even playful detachment, the balance shifts. She begins to sense that something has changed, and the power dynamic she once enjoyed is slipping away. This unsettles her because she was used to being the one pursued, the one who dictated the terms of engagement. Now, faced with your newfound indifference, she is left questioning what happened, and more importantly, whether she has lost her grip on you entirely. As this realization sets in, she may intensify her efforts to regain control. If her subtle tests fail to elicit the expected emotional response, she might escalate, perhaps by reaching out more frequently, acting more affectionate, or even fabricating scenarios to pull you back into her emotional orbit. This is a psychological tug of war, and the more composed you remain, the more power you reclaim. She begins to wonder, has he truly moved on? Is he seeing someone else? Did I misjudge his feelings for me? These unanswered questions create an internal tension that she didn't anticipate. At this point, her behavior may take one of two paths. If she genuinely values the connection, she may drop the games and pursue a more direct, honest approach. However, if her interest was rooted in validation rather than genuine care, she might resort to manipulation. Dramatic displays of emotion, sudden confessions, or even distancing herself to see if you will chase. This is where your self-mastery is crucial. If you stay grounded in your self-worth, refusing to be swayed by emotional bait, you force her to confront a truth she hadn't considered. She no longer controls the narrative. Ironically, this shift can make you even more attractive in her eyes. When someone who was once predictable and emotionally available suddenly becomes mysterious and self-assured, curiosity transforms into desire. She now sees you not as someone waiting for her approval, but as a person with autonomy, confidence, and options. The tables have turned, and the moment she realizes she's the one seeking validation, she will either step up to meet your new standard or fade away, revealing that her interest was never as deep as she wanted you to believe. Either way, you emerge with your dignity intact, free from the emotional games that once dictated the relationship dynamic. Number 3. She tries to regain your attention. At this stage, she may begin engaging in subtle, yet deliberate actions designed to recapture your attention. You might notice her posting more frequently on social media, sharing updates that seem carefully curated to catch your eye, perhaps nostalgic throwbacks, cryptic captions, or even content that aligns with your interests. This sudden shift isn't coincidental. It's a subconscious response to the perceived loss of control over your attention. Additionally, she might become noticeably more affectionate, offering compliments, initiating conversations, or displaying warmth that wasn't there before. This isn't necessarily a conscious manipulation, but rather an instinctive reaction to the shift in dynamic. If you were once predictable in your interactions, always responding promptly, always available, always engaged, and now you're not, it creates a sense of uncertainty that she wants to resolve. This unpredictability challenges the stability of the frame she once had over your connection, and in response, she may attempt to re-establish it by engineering opportunities for interaction. You might find yourself unexpectedly running into her at familiar places, receiving messages out of the blue, or noticing her efforts to reignite old conversations. These behaviors are often driven by an underlying need for reassurance rather than malice. She simply doesn't want to lose the validation and comfort your attention once provided. As this dynamic unfolds, her actions may escalate subtly, reflecting an increasing desire to restore the connection to its previous state. If casual social media posts and light affection don't seem to elicit the desired response, she might resort to more direct or calculated approaches. Perhaps she starts mentioning inside jokes or shared experiences, subtly reminding you of the bond you once had. She could also begin seeking your advice or support on seemingly trivial matters, knowing that appealing to your sense of importance in her life might draw you back in. These behaviors aren't always conscious or malicious. Rather, they stem from an internal discomfort with the idea of losing influence over someone who once provided attention and validation. At times, this effort to re-engage may take a more emotional turn. If she senses resistance or indifference from you, she may display signs of frustration or sadness, expressing how she feels neglected or misunderstood, even if she never directly addresses you. This can manifest through vague, melancholic social media posts, subtle changes in her demeanor when you do interact, or even withdrawal as a way to gauge your reaction. The irony is that the more effort she exerts in trying to pull you back into her world, the more she affirms that she has lost control over the dynamic. If you remain detached or indifferent, this realization might lead her to either intensify her approach or, conversely, retreat entirely to protect her own ego. Either way, her actions are a reflection of a fundamental truth about human nature. When we fear losing something we once had, we often fight to reclaim it, even if we don't fully understand why. Number 4. She pulls away or becomes defensive. Not all women will chase, and some may even do the opposite. They might pull away or act indifferent. This behavior often serves as a defense mechanism. It's their way of pretending they aren't affected by the situation, but in reality, they feel the shift and are trying to protect themselves from vulnerability. If a woman has genuine feelings for you, she may respond by becoming cold, distant, or even trying to make you feel as though you never mattered. However, this is just a mask she puts on to shield herself from potential hurt. If she truly didn't care, her response would be one of complete indifference, no reaction at all. The key here is to maintain your emotional detachment. Let her go and give her the space she needs. If she's genuinely invested in you, she will come back with a real, authentic effort. If she doesn't return, then you've saved yourself from investing in someone who was merely interested in the attention, not the true connection. By allowing her the space to come to terms with her feelings, you're not only respecting her process but also protecting your own emotional well-being. If she is truly emotionally connected to you, The distance will likely provoke her to reconsider the situation and possibly initiate contact when she's ready to give more. If she doesn't reach out or make any meaningful attempt to reconnect, that's your cue to move on. It's essential to remember that relationships thrive on mutual effort and respect. If the effort isn't reciprocated, it's better to let go and save your energy for someone who values you just as much as you value them. Sometimes, it's in the letting go that we discover the truth about whether someone was truly invested or just enjoying the chase. Number 5. She reflects on your value. When she notices that you're no longer seeking her validation, it forces her to reevaluate the way she sees you. This shift in your behavior makes her question whether she's been taking you for granted, or if she was too quick to dismiss you in the past. A woman who is emotionally mature will likely take this moment of reflection seriously, considering her own actions and their impact on you. This self-awareness could lead her to return with a deeper appreciation for you, recognizing your worth beyond the surface level. However, if she doesn't come back or show any real change, it's a clear sign that her interest was always tied to the attention you provided, rather than any genuine value in who you are as a person. In the end, her response, or lack thereof, will reveal whether your presence was meaningful to her or just a source of validation. If she does come back with a newfound appreciation, it shows that she has grown and recognized the importance of valuing someone for more than just the external attention they offer. It indicates that she has developed a deeper understanding of relationships, one that is rooted in mutual respect and emotional maturity. This can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling connection, where both individuals appreciate each other for who they truly are, not just for the roles they play in each other's lives. On the other hand, if she doesn't come back or shows no change, it's a wake-up call. It means that her attachment to you was more superficial. She valued the dynamic that came with your validation, rather than truly appreciating you as a whole person. In this case, it's crucial to recognize that you were likely never more than a source of emotional reinforcement for her. It's a clear indicator that she may not have been capable of offering the same level of emotional depth and understanding that you deserve. Accepting this reality frees you to move forward and focus on cultivating relationships with people who see your intrinsic worth without needing to constantly prove it to them. Number 6. She either steps up or walks away. At this point, the truth is undeniable. When someone truly cares about you, their actions will reflect it. She won't wait for you to make the first move or fix things on your own. Instead, she will make a conscious effort to reach out, address any issues, and show through both words and actions that you matter to her. This is the mark of someone who values you and wants to invest in the relationship. However, if she doesn't make that effort, if she doesn't take responsibility or show the same level of care, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's simply her choice. And that's okay. You're left with something far more valuable: self-respect. Once you recognize your own worth and stand by it, you empower yourself in a way that nothing else can. You no longer chase or settle for someone who doesn't meet your standards, because your sense of value comes from within. This inner strength becomes the most powerful tool a man can possess, one that allows you to walk away from what isn't right and to wait for what truly deserves your time and energy. When you cultivate self-respect, it changes everything. It shifts the way you see yourself and, consequently, how others see you. People can sense when someone is grounded in their own worth. They no longer settle for toxic dynamics or relationships that don't align with their values. Self-respect means you understand that you deserve love, kindness, and reciprocity. It means you're no longer willing to tolerate silence, indifference, or emotional neglect because you recognize that your time and energy are precious. This sense of self-worth not only gives you the confidence to walk away from situations that don't serve you, but it also sets a standard for what you will accept in your life moving forward. You become the gatekeeper to your own emotional well-being. And the more you honor this principle, the more you'll attract those who truly respect you and value what you bring to the table. With self-respect, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your actions, choices, and boundaries speak for themselves. Number 7. The ultimate power move, staying detached. No matter how a woman reacts, the true power lies in your ability to remain composed. In a world where emotions often dictate actions, especially in relationships, your ability to maintain your calm and composure is a sign of strength and self-control. When you prioritize your own growth, passions, and boundaries over seeking external validation, you create a magnetic energy that naturally attracts respect. Women, like anyone, respect men who live their own lives and don't constantly revolve around someone else's presence or absence. This is the cornerstone of healthy relationships, showing that you are self-sufficient and independent with a life full of purpose and direction. The moment you internalize this principle, your entire dating experience shifts. No longer will you feel the need to chase or desperately seek approval. Instead, you'll find that people are drawn to your confidence, your grounded nature, and your ability to stand strong regardless of external circumstances. This is the ultimate shift, from seeking validation to embodying self-respect and authenticity. When you stop seeking validation, your interactions become far more genuine and meaningful. Women are drawn to men who exhibit emotional stability and a clear sense of self, as it demonstrates maturity and inner strength. It's no longer about impressing or seeking approval, but about aligning with your values and living a life that reflects those values. When a man has his own interests, goals, and passions outside of a relationship, he brings something deeper to the table. He is not looking for someone to complete him. Rather, he seeks a partner to share in his journey. This is a powerful position to be in, as it allows both parties to connect on a more authentic level, free from the pressures of neediness or dependency. The key is realizing that respect isn't something you need to chase. It's something that naturally follows when you show respect for yourself. A man who is whole within himself doesn't need to prove his worth. His actions speak louder than any words ever could. This shift in mindset transforms not only your dating life but your approach to all relationships, fostering a sense of mutual respect and admiration that's built on real connection, not external validation. Conclusion: reclaiming your power is not just about external achievements or recognition. It's about taking control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Too often, we find ourselves in a constant chase, whether it's for approval, success, or validation, believing that these things will give us a sense of worth. But the truth is, true power comes from within. It's about realizing that you are enough as you are, and the moment you shift your focus from seeking outside sources of affirmation to cultivating self-respect and confidence, everything around you begins to change. This inner transformation allows you to step into your own power and start living on your own terms, not based on what others think or what you feel you need to prove. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Have you experienced this shift in power? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Remember, when you start valuing yourself, the world begins to mirror that back to you. So, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Let's continue this discussion. I'll see you in the next one.